from Bloody Bones by Laurel K. Hamilton. One thing I've learned about vampires, they keep pulling new rabbits out of their cloaks. Big, fanged, carnivorous bunnies that'll eat your eyeballs if you're not paying attention.
Welcome back to the Ruffians of the Reading Room, your favorite library podcast. This is Mallory, and no, you didn't notice anything different. I'm joined by my BFF and main squeeze, Ariel.
Juicy.
Our Supreme Overlord, Carla, is here, and she's ready for action.
Oh, yeah.
We are recording from our library in Jackson County, West Virginia. Zach, our very own time-traveling unraveler, is joining us from Seattle, Washington.
You know, I actually died in prison a few years ago.
I thought I heard that.
Today, Ariel and I are going to be talking about the Mandela Effect, and boy, what a trip. But before we get started, here's a little peek at what we have coming up at our libraries. April's spice will be herbs de Provence.
Yeah, I can't say it either.
Herbs de Provence.
What was that?
I don't know. Stop into either location to pick up your very own to make. We have recipe cards. We're also going to do our Spice Club potlucks. We will have one at each location. Let me see. Ripley's will be on the 16th at 6, and that's actually tomorrow for you guys. And then the 18th at 6 in Ravenswood. Ravenswood's new sewing club started on April 5th, and they meet every Friday at 11 a.m. Ravenswood's plant swap is also tomorrow at 6 p.m. over there in Ravenswood. They will be doing that rain or shine. So no matter what the weather, there's no excuse.
Get your plant babies on.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Let me see. Nicole is hosting a sleepover for Stuffies over in the Ravenswood Library. So you're going to drop off your kiddos' stuffed animals by 4 p.m. on the 25th and then pick them up the next day, the 26th, anytime from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you'll also get a little photo book of memories, which is going to be super fun. Avery is hosting Bingo for Books right here in Ripley on April 25th at 6 p.m. And so if you need a few new books, this is a great chance to get you some. You always need new books. I said so. Ravenswood's Junk Journaling Club is going to be meeting once again on April 23rd at 6 p.m. And I will be having Steam Night. We're going to do Peep Launch. And that'll be on April 30th at 6. We do a lot of stuff at 6 p.m. So y'all better eat dinner early or late. There's no choice. You can find information for all of that and more on our library's Facebook page at facebook.com/WVJCO Library. You should also follow us on TikTok and Instagram at WVJCO Library. For more Reading Room Ruffians fun, you can search up our Facebook group at Reading Room Ruffians Podcast, as well as our Instagram page, which is at Reading Room Ruffians. Check out our podcast Goodreads page, which we have linked in all of our episode descriptions, along with our personal Goodreads pages. All right, so do you want to get us started since you have our thing open?
Sure. Okay, so we are talking about the Mandela Effect. A lot of people know what this is. It's where there's like a collective that remembers something one way, but apparently it was never that way. I think that's a lie, but whatever.
Agreed.
There is various ideas of what causes this. I'm going to go over the scientific-y type ones first before we get into the conspiracy theory ones.
Those are my favorites.
So, false memories is one of them. It says the cause of the Mandela Effect is the idea of false memories or distorted recollections of an event, according to Dr. Schiff. From a neuroscience perspective, when you recall memories versus remembering them perfectly, they become influenced to the extent that they can eventually become incorrect. She says memory is not infallible and can be unreliable at times. And I actually heard once that every time you remember something, you're not remembering the actual event, you're remembering the memory.
Well, that makes sense.
So it can become distorted. And as someone who's been accused of false memories her entire life,
You do make them up. It's
I don't
true.
like this one. So, yeah. Another thing, I'm not going to get into a whole big bunch of that, but another idea is confabulation.
Yes.
Go me. It is the neuropsychiatric disorder known as confabulation, which is a person's brain creates erroneous memories without intending to deceive anyone and genuinely believes that the false memory is inaccurate. So confabulation may look like an exaggeration of a real event, mismatching memories from one event into another. I'm reading too fast.
Me too.
Recalling a new memory and thinking it took place at an earlier time, filling in missing information gaps, and creating an entirely new memory that never occurred. Dr. Schiff says that your brain will remember details that never happened and spontaneously generate details to compensate for any holes in the memory. So that's, I would say that's pretty legit. I could see that happening. Another thing is misleading post-event information.
Mm-hmm.
Research indicates that receiving new information after an event has occurred may transform or even replace existing memories of the event. That means that learning new information after your brain has already stored a memory of an event or image may lead to your memory becoming distorted. The next one is priming. Priming refers to how exposure to one stimulus affects how a person responds to subsequent stimulus due to subconscious connections. That was a mouthful. My Lord. The initial stimulus, the prime, activates a corresponding stimulus that helps individuals more quickly visualize or recognize images or memories. For instance, the word yellow may cause individuals to conjure up images of bananas or lemons. Priming can also affect how we perceive other people and influence our behavior due to underlying connections of certain words or images. And some of the last ones, this one says quantum physics or alternate realities. So this is kind of like jumping timelines.
Getting into the good stuff.
The nonsense ones, yeah.
No, but it's real.
It says quantum physics, or the fundamental study of matter and energy, as well as the theory of alternate realities or parallel universes, are another unproven idea of the Mandela Effect. Some speak to the growing research displayed within the field of quantum physics and the concept that we exist within one unified field in which our minds are interconnected and multiple expressions of reality exist at any one time. For many, this explanation feels too abstract and would be deemed as unsubstantial. And then the last one that I actually don't have in our notes, but I do know of, is that they think that they are experimenting on us as a whole and trying to alter our memories by denying that things were ever a thing.
Yeah.
It's like changing history.
Which is
in
hilarious.
reverse.
We were talking about that this morning. Both of us tried to find the articles that we had seen on that, and neither of us can find it. So it's just kind of like, oh, wow. Is that a Mandela effect?
No, it's the Fruit of the Loom one is a good one. Like that.
Yeah.
Well,
that
which
is a
we
good one.
have in
Yeah.
here.
So the Mandela effect came about specifically because there was a collective of a lot of people who remember distinctly that Nelson Mandela died in prison in like the 1980s, and he actually died a free man in 2013.
I have a vague memory of being surprised when he got out of prison because I thought he had died.
Yeah.
So when he got out, I was like, oh, wow, I must have, remembered that wrong or something like, but I do remember that it giving me pause. It's like, I didn't know he was still alive.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like a very big chunk of people felt the same way. If not, they remember distinctly.
Mine was not distinct, but it's like there's this like, oh, I didn't think he was, I thought he had died already.
There are people that remember newscasters talking about it, headlines, like
A televised funeral.
Yeah. There are people that remember all sorts of stuff like that. And it's so wild.
I was probably watching Ancient Aliens or something when that was happening.
Probably.
So we kind of started the Mandela Effect based on that because it's such a significant happening, and that would be something that's definitely worldwide broadcasted, talked about everywhere, and such a large chunk of people remember it completely different than how it happened. So did it actually happen that first way or not? It's hard to tell. Maybe we're all right. We don't know. But there are other reasons. So one of my favorites is Shazam.
Oh my God.
So
that one makes me so angry.
I know for a fact that there was a Sinbad movie where he was a genie. And there was also a Shaq movie where he was a genie, and that was Kazam. And I know that there's the Marvel superhero movie. It was not that. It absolutely was not that.
Yeah, this was an older one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, VHS tape.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. And I know that we had it. I know that we did. Like, my brother
I'm
and I...
fairly certain we had it.
Yeah. My brother and I went through all... We had a lot of VHS tapes. We went through them all. We could not find it. And we were both like, we didn't get rid of any of these. What? No, there's no way it's not here. Because we watched it more than once. It wasn't like a thing...
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one is a big one for me. There's also the Fruit of the Loom logo.
Wait a second, the Shazam one, wasn't it called Kazam? And wasn't it awful?
Kazam is Shaquille O'Neal's. And there was another one around the same time that was Shazam, and that was Sinbad.
Sinbad
You guys, I'm pretty sure, watched that.
We did, yeah. I know we did.
They say that Sinbad was never a genie in a movie. He never played in a movie where he was a genie, ever. And that's just such a lie. Like, I can see him in my brain.
Yes.
Distinctly. And it was so funny, too. Like, he is such a funny actor. And, yeah, they're just totally lying. They're totally lying about it.
I thought somebody found a VHS tape with him in it.
I think some people have posted pictures that they have it, but sometimes they look pretty doctored.
Oh, okay.
So, you just can't tell a lot of times, which is why I really wanted to find that VHS myself.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted it. Another one is like the Fruit of the Loom. So a long time ago, and I had this discussion with my mom whenever I found it in this, looking this stuff up. At one point, there was a cornucopia with fruit in it for Fruit of the Loom's logo.
I distinctly remember that.
That was real.
And they are saying, no, that's never happened. Fruit of the Loom themselves is saying that has never been the case. And that is such a lie.
Yeah, somebody actually looked it up.
Oh, this woman,
went
she
way
was like,
back.
Yeah.
And
she actually found a T-shirt in her closet with that logo on it. And found that through their trademark or something that there was that cornucopia. There used to be TV show commercials with people dressed up.
Oh, as the fruit.
Yeah, and there was the
cornucopia. Yep.
So I don't know why they lied about that. It's so trivial and stupid. But.
Yeah.
I'm betting they just didn't know. Like, they didn't have the records or something like that. Because companies don't keep good records
everybody
for stuff like
everybody in that company would have had to have been so much younger than it happened.
And also they posted about, I believe that they posted all of their past logos.
And it was
not in quotations. Yeah. We've never had this. And they had like a timeline of all of their logos. And I was like, that's just such BS. Like, I know for a fact. Like, Mom and I were both like, no. Another big one for me is the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah,
it's Berenstain.
I've seen both.
It's Berenstain.
Have you?
I have seen both.
And now it's spelled E with an E right now.
It's actually A.
No, it's an A right now.
It's an A. Okay, I remember it being an E then because I thought, why is that pronounced stain when there's an E in it?
But no, I have seen where somebody has found
the books.
Like they're old. They had like really old copies of these books, and they set them next to the newer ones, and it's spelled different. They changed it.
I'm not convinced by that at all.
I remember seeing some in real life where.
Well, you know how
the E.
You know how I am not the best speller in the world.
Yeah,
and it's because I don't pronounce words correctly. A lot of them, and that one stuck in my mind because I always thought it was stupid because it was not spelled the way it sounded.
Yeah.
So I think it used to be. Was it the E? It was the E, wasn't it? The old one is the E.
Yeah, the old one's the E.
The non-existent one is the E, yes.
It is no. I mean, I'm old enough to remember that one.
Yeah.
Well, you're old enough to make up a memory, sure.
No way, man.
It was Berenstain. Stein.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Because I started working here and I found one of our labeled books that had the A and I was like, this is wrong. And I flipped it over and I was like, nope, I'm getting out of here right now.
Yep.
I went home that day and looked at all of mine and they had A's on them and I was like, this is such a lie.
See, that's the thing that's weird about it. It's like you remember it so distinctly.
Oh, yeah.
And then everything now is...
Yeah.
So the weird one for
different.
Me, I bet you guys didn't talk about this one, but the fact that in Star Wars, especially in all the original Star Wars ones,
on our thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, I won't spoil it then.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. The C-3PO's leg, I think it's his right leg, or it's his right leg, I think. His silver.
Leg, yeah.
His silver in the movies. I went back and watched them. I was like, oh my God, it is silver.
I thought that was a later movie that happened.
No, it's
I
in
did too.
all
I thought
of
it was
them.
like...
It's in all
I
of
don't
them.
think
No
so.
way.
I don't believe
Go
that.
back and watch the original ones. It's in all of them.
Is it in the original? Did you watch the VHS?
Yes, it's in the VHS.
What?
I don't think that's right.
No, I don't think that's right at all.
The issue is, I think at least partially for that one, is that when we watched it when we were younger, it was on kind of a crappy CRT, you know?
I don't think that matters.
I saw it in a theater.
Well, you may have seen it in the theater, but the issue is they were always in
Opening
sand.
day.
They were always in sand, and it's like reflecting
true.
the yellow from the sand.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
That's part of the reason why you don't see it. But if you look back at the movie, you can see it's very clearly. Like, I have special versions of the movie that are from, like, unaltered from the
C3PO at home.
Laserdisc version.
I have a really old toy, like really old.
Oh, the toys were all gold.
C3PO.
Yeah, this.
And he doesn't have his leg attached. Like, but it's in the box, but it's not attached. It's like you could take it off and put it back on, kind of deal. And it's still in the box. I'm gonna look at it when I get home.
I figure a lot of the toys are not accurate because it's cheaper to make them all gold. That's my guess.
Yeah, probably not.
My big one is the Monopoly Man.
Oh, I know.
And his monocle. But you know what? Some lady went on this hunt, and she found the guy who owned like a bajillion different monopolies. Like, he almost owns every single type of monopoly ever made, which goals.
Same.
But they found one from like, it was real old, but he has his monocle in it.
I remember that monocle too.
Yeah, and they say that he didn't have it.
He never had one.
Liars.
Well, I can't say that.
Only dapper, fancy men have monocles, and Mr. Monopoly is both dapper and fancy.
That's correct. That is correct.
So he had to have a monocle.
He did. There's another one that I am getting. This is like, all of these are irrational to get so worked up about, and I'm not even sorry about it. But another one is Jif, the peanut butter, or Jiffy.
I
It's
remember
Jif.
it being Jiffy.
I remember Jiffy.
No.
I remember Jiffy.
Choosy moms choose Jif.
I remember that, but I also remember it being, I think people just called it Jiffy.
Maybe. But
I
Maybe.
don't know that it was
It's-
ever actually on it, but I do remember people calling it that.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember that one at all. It's always been Jif in my mind.
Yeah, I was Jif.
It was also, how do you spell Looney Tunes?
Oh, no. You know that one I can't remember. I want to think it was... How do they say it's spelled now?
Tunes.
See,
No.
I want to think there was two O's.
No,
but
because it matched, because it was Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
It matched, like the end of cartoons.
Yeah.
Looney cartoons.
do you remember that one, Zach?
I remember it being TOONS, but it's not, I guess. I don't.
Yeah.
I think when they changed Looney Tunes and made it stupid, I think they changed it then.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, here's one. I don't know how many of y'all watched the Saw movies.
No.
Did you ever watch them, Mallory?
I watched, I think, one or two.
Okay, Zach, did you ever watch them?
Will.
I've never seen him now.
Okay, well, in the movies, Jigsaw says something, right? And I always thought it was, do you want to play a game?
Yeah.
Apparently, it's, I want to play a game. And I think that's a lie.
He could have said it
Like,
both ways.
I want to, be like, that's an effing lie. Like, I am worked up about this because I distinctly remember. Because how many times do you look at people and go, do you want to play a game?
Yeah. But also, I mean, he could have said, I want to play a game. Like, I think he could have said it, like, both ways in the movie. Like, in at least, yeah. I think.
Because, I mean, I've watched, I think, every single one of the Saw movies.
Okay,
Not
so
me. I haven't watched any of them.
two things. First off, I think that one is like how we say, Luke, I am your father, and that's never said in the movie, or beam me up,
Yeah.
Scotty.
Hey,
I
that's
feel like
been
it's just
said.
something. No, beam me up, Scotty's never been said. It's just like,
Or
beam
Scotty
me up, or
beam me
Mr.
up.
Scott. Beam.
Oh, it could be Mr. Scott, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Scott,
Yeah.
2 to beam up, or whatever. And
You know
Luke-
what that made me think of?
What?
Little anecdote. When we went to see the new Star Trek movie and I found out Simon Pegg was Scotty, I was walking in the theater and I was like, he can beat me up any day.
Oh my God. Apparently,
Yeah, I think that's what you said when I originally said it too.
secondary thing, Tiny Toons is TOONS. I'm
See?
wondering-
That's the baby ones.
That's the baby
Oh.
one. That one's
Baby.
TOONS, not TUNES. I'm wondering
Well,
if
maybe
we're
it's
conflating
maybe
the
that's
two,
when they-
Looney Tunes and
it could
Tiny
be.
Toons.
The Tiny Toons is the one I think is stupid.
I mean,
I'm
that
just
one
a
was
big
pretty
fan of Slappy
This
Squirrel.
was another one that I thought was interesting because I've always, I watched the show.
That's what I was just getting ready to do.
I watched the show. I was a big fan. So apparently a lot of people think that Sex in the City is pronounced Sex in the City and not and. But it is and always has been Sex and the City.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
She used to watch it.
unfortunately.
I used to watch
I
it.
didn't watch it. We got a donation in,
Yeah.
and I read on it.
You did used to watch it.
I didn't watch that.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Well, I've wiped that totally from my mind.
Or
I don't
Ariel's
think you
making up
liked it
memory,
too much, but you
like
watched
all
a
of
few
these.
episodes of it.
But I mean, because I thought it is in the city.
No, it's
Yeah,
and.
I honest to God, I wish I'd kept
believe
it.
you. I believe you.
Because
But
we got
I've
a
always
donation
seen
in, and I
and.
thought, well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
in.
Because I used to always think, like, I don't know why they said and the city because they're in the city. Like, I don't really understand.
Because it is in.
Well, yeah. but apparently it's always been and.
Okay, here's one.
Nope, not on the
We
DVDs
need,
or whatever.
We're going to need to see
we
all
need to
these.
ask Grace this one.
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember Tinkerbell flying across the screen, writing out Disney, and dotting the I?
Yeah.
Apparently that never happened.
That's a lie.
Well, she did dot the I. I don't know if she wrote it out, but she did. She did dot
She
the
does
I.
dot the eye, right? And then it's like
She
sparkly.
does. She does.
Let's see. I'm going to pull up what it says. This is what it says happens. Well, see, this is Disney DVD, though. She didn't do anything. She just flew in and then flew off.
And it was her sparkles. And that was it. That's
Lies.
a lie.
Just sparkles.
That's a lie.
lie.
That's a lie.
Lies.
Lies. Okay, I got a question for you guys. I don't know if you know this one or not. How does Queen's We Are the Champion, how does that song end?
There's no of the world.
Yes, there is. I actually heard one of them. Somebody looked it up. They were going nuts like this woman on Free the Loom.
Yeah.
And there are a few times that it ends with.
It does say
Well,
it.
it might be
world.
live versions, maybe.
I don't think so. I think this was recorded somewhere.
Mm.
I wish I could find that. I didn't
I
think
mean,
about
that's
it
a
till just
pretty
now.
easy one to check. We could just listen to the recording.
But it'll say, "Oh, the guy played it." I mean, he played the song. I was like, "Yeah, there it is."
This one, I kind of feel ashamed of not realizing, but it tripped me up whenever I read it. How do you spell Febreze?
Oh,
I
God.
can't spell anything.
F-E-B-R-E-E-Z-E.
Yeah, like a breeze.
Apparently it only has one E. Easy.
No way.
It's not
Yeah.
There is
Febreze.
no-
It's
That's
Febreze.
I know, right? Febreze? That's what I said. Y'all lying. There's two E's.
There is two E's.
There's not two E's, apparently. I have a bottle in the other room. I checked the other day.
Did you? Well,
I
then
was
why
like, I
does,
could have
okay,
sworn.
why? I would have put money on
Okay.
it.
Okay, what about Pikachu and his tail?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, what's wrong
Where
with
they
Pikachu
say
and
that
his
the
tail?
tip of his tail is not black.
What?
That's what they
The end
say.
of Pikachu's tail is supposedly not black. Actually, let
Well,
me
what
open
color is it?
Pokemon Go right
It's
now.
just yellow. Like the base of his tail is brown, then it goes to yellow, and then he had black at the tip of it. And they say that
Pikachu.
I don't know enough about the Pikachus but I was thinking it was black. I was thinking
thought
the
it
like
was
the
like, no,
like
it's always
lightning
yellow.
bolt
It's
or
always been
whatever.
yellow.
at the
yeah,
end
it's
was
kind of
black.
like
Yeah.
electric. Yeah.
Mine what? Mine has 0 black on his tail.
Yeah, I was saying there's. I think
Well,
there's only
if
at
you
the
look it
base.
up right now, that's
I
what you're
think
going to
people are just
find.
wrong about
Yeah.
that one, straight up.
Well, they have the black at the. Oh, that's not black, is it? That's just brown.
Brown.
Okay,
Yeah.
that threw me off. I always thought they were saying that he had black on the base of his tail and not the tip, and so that was like, well, that's weird, but okay.
Because didn't it match his like ears or something? Wasn't his.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about stovetop stuffing? What brand is that?
Betty Crocker. I have no idea.
Stovetop stuffing? I don't know.
Okay. Well, a lot of people think it's Stouffer's.
Stovetop stuffing. Maybe. I don't know.
It's apparently Kraft.
There's no way it's Kraft.
I like how you had no opinion. All of a sudden, no, there's no way it's Kraft.
Well, I mean, it was something like odd. It's like, but it wasn't like Kraft.
Oh my God.
It clearly was.
No, I don't think so. I think that's all wrong. We're living in a different timeline, man. And it's-
Okay. Apparently, a lot of people think that chartreuse. What color is chartreuse
it's kind
to you?
of a funky yellow green.
Okay.
Yeah, green.
There are a lot of people who think it's some sort of like magenta pink.
Apparently, that's what me and Alex argue over this.
Yeah.
Because he asked me one day, I was like, it's like a green. He goes, no, it's not. And I'm like, but it is.
It is.
That's what I said. I read this and I was like, what?
Those books is like the Chartreuse Chameleon.
Yeah, something like that.
It's funky green. They're kid books.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know, but I have heard other people say that it is like a magenta-y color, and I'm like, no, you're dumb.
Not even close.
Yeah.
This is how other
what?
people feel about some of the ones that we're upset about.
Well, they're wrong.
Excuse me. Okay, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the theme song. How does it go?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor.
They say that it is a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Absolutely not.
No, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
They're just
no,
mixing
it
up
is.
the letters.
It is a beautiful day in this neighborhood, isn't
Nope.
it?
No,
Oh, no, it isn't.
It's
It's
a
the
beautiful day in the
neighborhood?
neighborhood.
Okay. That's the one I remember
It's-
is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
That's the right one.
Yeah.
Is that the actual
But they
right one
say-
or the one that people...
No, they say it's this.
Who says
talked
it's
about that
this?
one the other day.
Are we talking about the real life world says it's this, or people think they know it's this?
What?
It's like, what does it say now?
We believe that it says the neighborhood, but according
It's a
to the
beautiful
show,
day in the
it's this
neighborhood.
neighborhood.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I listened to it, and it is this.
No.
Because I thought it was the. Because that sounds
Yeah, I think
better.
it is the.
It
It
is
is
It's not,
the.
it's this.
They just changed it. Okay. There are magical fairies changing
reality.
stuff.
All right, continue. What else you got? This is
So another
ridiculous.
one we were talking about this the other day because this year is Smokey Bear's.
Ask Zach about this before you tell it.
So how do you say his name, Zach?
I said, Smokey? Smokey? Is
Yeah.
it Smokey Bear or Smokey the Bear? Is that what it is that we're getting at
Yeah,
here?
which one is it?
I always said Smokey the Bear.
Yeah, but it's apparently
It's just
Smokey
Smokey Bear.
That's a lie.
I've
Is there
heard-
another bear? It was like the something the bear? Like
Nope.
Yogi
no.
the bear?
Yogi the Bear?
I
No,
thought
it's
that was
Yogi
just
Bear.
Yogi Bear.
It is Yogi Bear.
No.
It is apparently just Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear
No.
and Boo Boo.
No. Yogi the bear?
But yeah, apparently, yeah, we started doing we talked about this because they're doing is it what like the 80th anniversary?
Oh God! This
So
literally-
there's like a reading challenge for
Winnie
kids
the
this year to
Pooh.
do.
Oh, it's Winnie the Pooh. But it's
Winnie
also
the Pooh.
Smokey the Bear.
And I think we're just all putting the in the middle of these because it's like Winnie the Pooh.
I don't know. I distinctly remember them saying Smokey the Bear a lot. I've also heard Smokey Bear. So like it's for me, it's not necessarily a wrong thing, but now that I'm only seeing Smokey Bear, I'm just kind of like, what?
I think that's what it is. It's like it's become so like cut and dry.
Mhm.
It's like there's no room for, oh, that could be, maybe it was said like that. It's like, no, it's.
Here's
Well, it may not
one,
have ever officially been that, but this just goes to show how crappy people like eyewitness reports have got to be.
Oh,
If
yeah,
nobody can even
everybody
agree
says that
on
they're bad.
basic
For
stuff.
sure. It really is, yeah.
Okay, so the Queen and Snow White apparently never said mirror, mirror on the wall.
She said magic mirror.
Yeah.
I saw that one before.
I don't think that's true.
I think that it's just something
I
that people
want to think
repeat, like the Luke's,
Yeah.
like the Luke, I am your father thing.
We've got a great raffle prize along those lines for MiniCon, which will already have been given to somebody by now. But
Yeah.
For Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
no, about the Luke Skywalker thing. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I get you.
it's a T-shirt with like a silhouette, kind of a Darth Vader mask, and it says, "Who's your daddy?"
That's kind of fun.
It's hilarious.
Okay. The movie from Anne Rice, her 90s vampire movie. What's it called?
The Vampire Lestat.
No,
Mm-mm.
not that one.
Oh.
The interview one.
Interview with a vampire.
Okay, but
It's apparently Interview with the Vampire.
yeah.
That's what I said. Interview with the. No, I said.
I said
Oh,
a
you said,
vampire.
ah.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
said,
seriously
yeah.
like
It
is the
is-
book Interview
is
with
the-
a Vampire?
No. I don't think. Is it called that?
We could go look.
Yeah, we could.
Oh my God, it's
I'll
the.
grab it now. I'm
Okay.
closest.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember what it's actually called, but they made the movie called that. Unless the book is called that. I actually.
Oh my God, the
I don't
the
know.
move,
I've only
the
seen
book is also
bits and
called Interview with
pieces.
the Vampire.
Is it?
With the. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people just can't speak with the. Who says with the? It's
With a
the.
vampire. With a vampire.
With a
vampire.
vampire.
With a.
I can't tell the difference when I just say it normally. Interview
Yeah,
with the
no,
vampire.
that's-
Interview with a vampire.
Yep.
Those sounded the same, right?
They really did.
I said 2 different words.
There's also, while we're waiting for Carla, there's also apparently, did Curious George have a tail?
No, I saw that one, and I never remember him having a tail, ever. He's a chimp.
Yeah. I didn't read a whole lot of Curious George. I watched the show. I don't remember him having a tail, but also, like, I don't...
Because he's a chimp.
Yeah.
He's a chimp. He doesn't have a tail. People get him mixed up with other stuff. Like
apparently, a lot of people remember the laughing cow having a nose ring, which I really thought the laughing cow did have a nose ring.
Didn't it?
Apparently not.
The cheese?
But, yeah, the cheese.
Oh, no, she's got earrings, right?
She has earrings, but I thought she had a nose ring, too.
Because she's a bull.
Yeah.
She's not a bull.
Matches.
By she, I mean he.
She's very feminine looking. I'm looking at
Boys
pictures of her right now.
can have nose rings and earrings.
And girls can have nose rings, Zachary.
I mean, yeah, girls can. Not girl cows usually, though. Well, I guess it's redundant to say. It's also
not on the shelf.
the laughing cow, right? Cows are female, technically.
Yes, well, yeah, cows are female.
Technically. Ask your parents about that one, kids. All cows are female. And then when they say, nuh-uh, you just have to look it up and prove them wrong.
Cattle can be either way, but a cow is a female.
Okay, so I'm just going to sidetrack for a second here. Is there a generic word for one head of cattle? There isn't, right? We just call them cows. Like it's one cow, even if it's a bull or whatever, because we're lazy. Yeah. But there's not a generic just like cattle. Oh, we should just call them cats. It's a cat. One cattle is a cat.
Meow.
Moo-moos.
But with 2 T's or something. I don't know. I just wish there was a generic, normal one term so you could say one cattle. Because I don't think it's cattle. Is cattle singular ever?
I don't think so.
There is no singular cattle. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a Mandela effect that I can kind of remember that I tried to find and couldn't. All right, there was this lady who... She moved into this house, and when she moved into this house, this tree that she had in her front yard was little. It was like maybe a year or 2 old, so, pretty little, right? And she gets to, it's been a couple of years they've lived there, and she happens to look out her window and thinks, when did the tree get so big? Right? And she's, asking her husband about it, and he's like, well, I don't know, because neither of them are why is this tree so big? Right? So, and then everybody she's asked, they're like, it's been like that. And she's like, no, it has not. I've lived here. It's not been that big. It was producing fruit and everything. It was a fruit tree. And it shouldn't have done that yet because it was too young, because they take so long to start really producing fruit.
Yeah.
Well, she went and looked up a picture from when they moved in, and it was big in the picture. And she was like, what is happening?
That's kind of funny,
that would mess with your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And then another one that I found was that this woman started dating this guy, and he had kids, right? He was from a previous relationship. And they had been hanging out a lot lately. And she's like, how come you aren't going to go see your kids? And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, your kids, why haven't you gone to see them here lately? He's like, I don't have kids. And she had seen pictures of these children. She knew he had children. And he swore he did not. So yeah, crazy.
People just have... memory sucks. It's just a thing. We're really bad at it.
How do you forget your children?
Or how do you...
Oh, maybe it was his dream child. Maybe she had a dream that he had children, and she remembered the dream children.
I think you would have to really make up a whole lot to come up with that. Well, you would really have to be...
Yeah.
Okay, no,
to see
Ariel has
pictures
to...
and to ask about them and hear about them.
Yeah.
Ariel has to tell her own personal Mandela Effect story.
Okay, I don't want to hear it because you actually admitted that you lied to me, okay?
I lied to you about some stuff, not about that.
Out you as a liar.
I did say that I thought
everyone.
aliens.
Here's my story, everyone. Zach, shut your mouth. All right. The year was 19-something. Okay? I was young.
She was a babe.
I was not allowed to go to 4-H camp yet. I was so young. So I was under 9 years old.
Yeah.
Okay? Zach went to 4-H camp this year, right? It was the end of the week, and we got to go watch the council circle and all this stuff. Well, Zach was coming back up, and he told me that one night while he was there, that aliens went outside his room, his cabin, his window, and they gave him something. And I was like, what is it? I want to see. And he's like, oh, I dropped it. I don't have it. Likely story, right?
See, this
that's
did
what
not
he told me. That's what. No, it did. Okay, this did happen. Years later, after multiple times being told I am making up memories that it never happened, they made fun of me for years over this, and I stuck to my freaking guns, right? That this happened, right? And then, like, anytime I would remember something that they didn't remember, they'd be like, "Oh, she's making up memories again." Right? Years I suffered this abuse. Zach finally admitted that he said, "Yeah, I made up that story." Finally admitted it.
I did not say that. These are all lies and slander.
He's a liar.
I
You
do
did say
distinctly
that.
remember when I was a kid thinking that I saw aliens outside of my window, like pretty far off. I'm pretty convinced they were just deer, but I thought they were aliens at the time. I never said anything about them giving me anything.
No, you did.
That's
You did,
the
because I
best
distinctly remember asking, I want to see it. This is before I was terrified of aliens. Okay? It happened. Years of abuse.
Yeah.
Years. Psychological torment.
I
Rude,
have
Zachary, rude.
a really funny one to tell on Mom. We were sitting around, and there was a bunch of us, and I want to think it was like a holiday, maybe like Thanksgiving or something. And we were just talking. She mentioned about her and Joy going to the levee at the regatta. And they had seen, different different bands there and stuff like that. I can't remember. She was wanting to see. It was a band that, like, when she was growing up. But she also distinctly said she saw ZZ Top with Nan at the levee.
She did. I remember this happening.
Because it was like, seriously, Mommy, we questioned her on it. And she's like,
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that Mom had seen ZZ Top. Okay. The following year, I mean, it was about the same time of year, and we were teasing her. It's like, oh, yeah, it's when you saw ZZ Top. And she looked us deadpan in the face and said, I never said that. My sister and I were stunned. I mean, our mouths just fell open, and we looked at her, and we looked at each other, and we looked. It's like, yeah, you did.
Yep. It's like when she told
Swears
me
up and down she didn't do it.
Oh my goodness.
she told me she would try illicit drugs if I found them or something.
Mm-hmm. And then she never said that.
Swore she never said it. Swore. I was like, Mama, you did.
Why would I go looking for them otherwise?
I was like, because I told you I didn't know anybody here, but if you really wanted some, I could find someone.
That is so funny.
That sounds like
I don't
something she
know
would do.
if I have any like specific. I have a really bad memory anyway with things that are more than like I'm bad. I'm bad with memory. Anyway, I want to talk about this one because I've never heard of this one, but I find it absolutely hilarious.
I saw that and I thought so too. I was like, what?
Apparently, a lot of people think they remember King Henry VIII holding a turkey leg in his most famous portrait.
What?
A turkey leg.
The funniest thing in the world.
I mean, that would have been like
It would have been
character for him.
hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been in his character.
He's
but-
holding his gloves. And like whenever I see it, like it kind of makes sense because it
They
doesn't
do
look like
kind of
it
look.
doesn't really look. It's brown, but it doesn't really look like a turkey leg. That's a very sad turkey leg. If it is
That's
one.
a chicken leg at
It's
best.
a baby turkey leg. Maybe it's a quail leg.
Maybe, well, maybe, but yeah, that is so funny because they've superimposed a turkey
turkey
leg
leg.
into his picture. Oh my
my
the
gosh.
things that some people come up with is fantastic.
So what do we think really is causing the Mandela effect?
Is that all you guys
Some
do
of it, I
Mandela
think,
effect?
is bad memory. Some of it, I do think,
Well,
is bad
that's
memory.
not all of them, but yeah, those are like our biggest ones.
Yeah, and we have like 20 minutes left, so I thought we could discuss some.
Okay, yeah. So
But some of it, I don't think so. Some of it, I think something has altered.
yeah, well, I think we all know that I stand on the firm side of people have bad memories, and it's some sort of like weird, thing that happens with people spreading around stories that are fake because somebody heard it
Well,
wrong.
I don't
once.
think they're spreading them around because it's like.
I don't think it's,
When you
it's
ask-
intentional.
when
I'm
you
just saying,
ask-
like,
But I think like the whole Bernstein Bears thing. It's like you have a very distinct memory of what that was, and when someone tells you that was not what it was, without hearing from anybody else, you're like, "There's no way."
I think. For
I mean, I think some
example,
of them
that
are
one,
fake, but Mm-hmm.
The Berenstein Bears. It just sounds better to say Berenstein Bears than Berenstain Bears.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds better. Feels better, you know?
I think I'm definitely in the camp of I don't think everything on this list is a Mandela effect. I do think that there are things that people just misremember, but I don't think everything on that list is like that. I mean, I have my own memories. Like, I was a kid. If I watched one thing and loved it, I watched it a million times. And I know that I watched that Sinbad movie. Yeah. I know that I did. Yeah. Like, my brother and I talked about it all the time.
Okay. And notice something else, too, that what years are these all happening from?
Mm-hmm. So like the
Our
80s.
Childhood.
Well, it's the 80s.
The 80s and the 90s. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just wild.
It's kind of weird that it's like just that specific time frame.
Yeah. And I really do think, I mean, it would make a lot of sense for certain entities or governments to try and change history to see if they can get away with it, just to gaslight people. But I don't know, like, what kind of scale would you have to do that on? I feel like it would have to be more than just a country. Like, I think it would have to be.
Well, Monopoly Man is over in Europe, too.
Yeah. I think it would absolutely have to be worldwide.
I think the Mandela is, too. Actually, that memory.
Oh,
but
my
how
gosh.
are we going to get all of these different countries to work together when we can't even, like, do that regularly?
No, so,
I don't know.
So the big one that would make more sense than all the countries in the world working together is us actually switching timelines. That would make more sense.
Yeah, that's it. Really would.
Makes more sense.
Yeah.
And I think maybe like some companies are like trying to do it themselves. Like, you know, made Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia thing. Like, that obviously was something that they tried and then was like, oh, well, okay.
But people are time traveling and going back and being like, let's mess with this.
You know the one that does? Okay. So I'm just going to briefly talk about one. The Oscar Mayer one. People think it's...
No, yeah.
How do you spell it? The Mayer.
Mayer.
Yeah, because of the song.
He has a first name, it's
Oscar. My baloney has a second name, it's Mayer.
Yeah. These lunatics thinking that it's Meyer.
I mean, that is a way to spell Meyer. Like, I do get that. But the song specifically, I mean, that's...
You spell it out.
Yeah.
It's like bananas. You can never misspell that because of Gwen Stefani.
Bananas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, right? He wasn't ready for us.
Sorry, I was looking at some other ones, but I didn't expect you guys to actually sing the song.
It was just like the alphabet. I still have to sing the alphabet whenever I shelf books.
I want to hear somebody say the preamble without singing it.
I don't even know the preamble.
Of the Constitution?
Yeah.
Yeah. We the people in order to form a more perfect union.
Okay, yeah, no.
I don't
remember
even know
that.
that.
Okay. Schoolhouse Rock is like stuck
I remember
in my
that.
head forever.
I remember that, but...
Oh, man, I got the Bill one.
Yeah.
I'm only a bill.
On Capitol Hill.
Sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, that's the one I remember.
Yeah.
Schoolhouse Rock was great.
It was.
The Conjunction Junction.
Oh, yeah.
What's your function?
What's your function?
Anyway, I think it's all just like collective misremembering things because some things are a lot catchier or it just makes sense why it would be that way.
So the world collectively misremembers things?
Yeah, because people remember them the correct way too. So there's just a chunk of people who misremember or have heard it a specific way and never get over it.
I don't know. I think some of the especially the original ones, something is just different.
The only one that has ever given me like real pause has been the Sinbad one, I gotta say. I feel like he was in a thing and he wore that outfit once. I don't know if there was an actual movie because I don't remember a movie. I remember seeing him specifically in that. What happens in the movie?
So essentially, he is like a really bad genie. He makes all kinds of fudge ups. He's like really funny and the kid hates him and they kind of have to work together. I don't remember like specifically the bad thing that they're fighting. I don't know. It's like a kid's movie, so it's not too bad, but I want to say that there's definitely a bad adult. And he is just like...
He's incompetent.
Yes. And the whole time he's just struggling and this kid is like, oh my God, you are the worst.
I mean...
Sorry, she showed me a picture here.
That makes sense.
And I want to say that like Shaquille O'Neal's was kind of similar, But he was just a big bumbling mess because he's so large. Like Sinbad is like a comedian, and he can act like he does. But Shaquille O'Neal, especially at the time, was just like a big oaf and wasn't an actor. And so like Shaquille O'Neal's was bad, but Sinbad's was bad in like a really fun way. If that makes sense.
That's the one that bothers me.
Because I remember we used to always talk about how weird it was that they would come out with movies that were similar, so close to each other.
I don't know. That's something that we always
today.
did. Like, back in the day we had, was it Deep Impact and was Deep Impact and then Armageddon came out at the same time, or Dante's Peak and Volcano came out at the exact same time. Well,
it's like that is a thing. That's a thing that happens a lot. But like as a kid, we didn't really think about a whole lot of that stuff because we didn't watch a lot of those older movies. So that was like one of the first ones for us. But
you remember talking about it. I think that's the key. It's like not only do you have this memory, but you remember discussing this memory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Colton and I talk about this stuff, and it's like, did you hear about the new one? I was like, no. And then we're like, what? But what? So yeah, we get mad about stuff like that. So that one was our biggest one, though.
Apparently, the Sinbad one is solved, supposedly, because Sinbad hosted an afternoon of Sinbad movies in 1994, and it's Sinbad the Sailor movies. But he's got a turban on in that little hosting thing that he did.
See, I don't think so. I don't think that's
what people say the most likely thing is.
If a timeline would change, would it change for everyone, or would just a few people remember what happened before?
Oh, this feels like about half the friggin' population remembers this one.
So, why?
Maybe not all of them saw the movie.
Why would it happen?
So, like,
because they wouldn't.
Don't think anything of it, so they don't.
Although, that's a really good idea for a story. There should be some sort of like weird Mandela Effect story that somebody should write.
So you're saying that these Sinbad was in Sinbad the Sailor movies?
No. He hosted an afternoon, right? Where he's talking in between Sinbad the Sailor movies.
Okay. I know that I never watched those movies. I also never watched anybody else watch those movies.
Well, the one with, there was Sinbad, there was Shazam and then Kazam, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Sinbad was in Shazam, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, which doesn't exist.
I do remember when Shazam came out, the first one, the recent one, like I thought, didn't we already have a movie like that?
Yep, we did.
Or named that, so.
We did. Yeah, that's...
And none of these things are like, well, I guess the Mandela one would have been.
Yeah.
But most of them are not earth-shattering or earth-changing.
No, that's what Kazam's looks like.
Okay.
Events for the world, but it's like still...
I mean, yeah, because that's Shaquille O'Neal, but he had like a really funky...
He didn't have a purple
pants.
Shirt?
Yes.
Okay.
And he had like a white... I mean, it kind of looked like the Sultan's turban from...
Aladdin.
Yeah. But it didn't. It did, but it didn't. Because it was like way over the top and wild. And it's just like this whole thing is hilariously bad.
I'm trying to find the outfit that I vaguely remember. And I can't.
Maybe we're all just racist and we don't know the difference between Sinbad and Kazam and probably in MC Hammer.
No, I definitely know the difference between all of them.
Just saying. Maybe that's it.
Look at his face, though.
I found this poster, and it says Sinbad Shazam Family Fun, and he looks like
He looks like you know the memes where they have the face that's like, oh no, or they have like the really tight grin and their teeth are together. He looks like that.
Yeah, that's so funny.
The stressed out smile.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think it's all just people misremembering things or getting told the wrong thing. Like the Luke, I am your father thing. I don't think it all is. For a long time, I thought was an actual, line in the movies, and it never is,
I really think, personally, I think it's a good mix of all of it. Some of it's misremembering, some of it is, we have to be in another timeline. Some of it's actually just,
real.
And some of it, people are just, gaslighting.
None of it is timelines.
Like, that never happened.
None of it is timelines.
Yep.
Because it's so weird how there are some things I remember as being correct, and then some things I don't. Like, I feel like if all of it, I don't know. I just feel like
Maybe we just switched a lot of timelines and it's getting all junky now.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so
Red,
the one
red and blue are messing with us.
They are.
The one explanation I don't like, though, the quantum physics one, I think people just like to put quantum in the front of things because, it sounds neat or whatever. But
Well,
there's
it
no
kinda gives
method
it, like, a
or whatever in
legitimacy.
there. Yeah, it does lend it some legitimacy if you, I guess, don't
If you say that,
know.
yeah.
But no, there's no mechanism, guys, in quantum.
But
They have
isn't there
they're
some...
using the multi-universe theory or the multi-timeline theory, right? Where basically anything that can happen does happen in different timelines, different universes, blah 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 blah, blah, right?
I thought that there is some evidence that, or they're leaning to the fact that there probably is parallel worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I
that
did
is
hear-
a theory. We have no evidence for it aside from just
Well, it would explain some things, is what I think.
It was like, why this is like the why does anything happen sort of thing. Like it has to pick something, so it picks whatever thing happens. But does it not pick everything that happens instead?
I thought it was more like the photon thing. It's like where if you watch it, it narrows it down and goes through the slits, but if you don't, it could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's like...
No, okay, so
if
that
you-
one, that's a different
I thought it was
thing.
along that... I know, but I mean, I thought it was like similar to that type of, I guess, explanation or something.
No, I get what you're saying.
It's like there's all these parallel worlds, and until we pay attention, or I don't know, or somebody pays attention, it doesn't narrow down to just one.
Mhm.
But the other ones are still out there as viable options in case. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I
It's
see
like
what
if you're
you're
watching
saying.
it one
but-
minute, then you look away and you watch again, like it kind of changes.
I think it's very interesting to think about things like this because I think I am mostly a person that thinks a lot of the things that we are concerned about or like conspiracies or things like there is some truth to a lot of things, but I don't think that everything about most conspiracies or things like this are true. Because I do think there's like misinformation is a very big thing, and so is misremembering. And I think, like all of that lends itself to the people who do, make claims that are real and have been corroborated. Because then it's like, well, if it's misinformation, if I make my own claim and then we find out that I faked it, everybody else is then questioned. And that happens a lot in so many different things. I just think whenever the waters are allowed to get muddied. What? And they're always going to because people suck. So it's just like, I don't know.
I actually hate the term misinformation.
Yeah.
Because I think they use it to promote a specific agenda that they want. And I'm talking about like the powers that be at the total exclusion of everything else without looking at the evidence for their misinformation. So I think that's become a way to control the narrative by claiming everything that you don't want known to claim it all as misinformation. Where, I mean, basic science alone is like you have got to look at all the possibilities and not like poo-poo any of them because that's not the way you want it to go. It's like with the Sphinx, for example, is much older than what they said it was.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Mandela effect about that.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Not the Sphinx, but King Tut's.
Oh, yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that one. But anyway, it's like when Robert Schoch discovered that through the evidence based on erosion, that it was probably closer to 10,000 years old. And they're like, oh, no, that's not right. But it is. And a lot of other geologists have lost their jobs because they have went by the evidence and dated stuff farther back than we think it should be. So they're, instead of looking at the evidence, it's just immediately, shut down. That's like misinformation. This is wrong. You're going to lose your job.
I think that is I agree with you there, but I don't think in general the term misinformation is bad because, I mean, there is misinformation. Like
it's lies.
Right. Yeah. Right. But there's also like, there are people out there that will believe it no matter what. And so I think
I don't like the way it's used.
Right. Now, especially, it is wild, but also anybody can claim misinformation, which is what makes it all confusing for a lot of people. And so that's, I think, why I'm usually pretty open to, like paranormal stuff. I don't think it's all out there, but I do think a lot of it is. I don't think everything is a ghost, but I definitely do think they're out there. It's like conspiracy theories, like Mandela effects. Maybe I've misremembered some of these things, but not all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's truth there, and it just gets exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't throw out the truth just because.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to take a closer look at everything.
Yep. And we collectively do that a lot for a lot of different things, and not just not just small things.
No, it could be life-altering things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm fine not throwing out things just right off the bat. But we should go for the simpler explanations than we switched an entire timeline sort of explanations first.
That seems simpler to me than everybody getting along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, or you just misremembered. I feel like it's much more likely that more people just misremember than we actually switch timelines, because there's no mechanism for switching timelines that we know of. So you go with the easier things.
Because we don't know it doesn't mean it's not there.
Sure, but that's not what you should just say. I mean, you could say that there's an invisible pink dragon, and that's what's controlling everything, but that's not much better. That is as likely as switching timelines.
I won't elaborate on that.
Our face when you said that. No, that's great.
I think though, if we totally throw out everything, then we're never going to learn anything, because if it can't happen, you're not going to look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but the issue is you have to have some way of testing things, otherwise it does not matter whether they're real or not, right? This is the whole issue with string theory. You can't test string theory, so it doesn't really matter whether it's right or not.
We can't test it yet.
Yeah, sure, but maybe we will eventually, but we're so far ahead of that.
Well, yeah, so you still have to be open to it.
I think in that case, it's actually not physically possible to test the theories, because they don't predict anything different than what the actual, normal standard model predicts.
Well, those are more theories on how to explain what's already happening than to figure out what's going to happen next, aren't they?
What do you mean?
String theory explains how the universe works as we know it, or what they thought.
Sure, so
if we
find something else,
as things change, we adapt and we alter, and I get that.
Yeah. I mean,
but I don't think you should throw out everything, because you never know when the thing is really going to be. Oh, that's the key piece of information that puts this whole puzzle together.
I mean, fair, but people misremembering that Shazam is a movie is not the key thing that's going to put stuff together.
It was a movie.
Oh.
Well, I think the Bernstein thing was that one for me is the one that's that's.
I'm convinced that one is the logo is just difficult to read.
It's
and it sounds better. Well,
I think the reason I remember it is because I thought it was spelled stupid the way it was pronounced. Mm-hmm. So that's why it sticks in my mind. Yeah. It's because for me, it was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, because it's not.
Yeah. The first time I actually heard it pronounced, I was like, well, that's not right.
Oh, so that's the thing. And also, I've never, up until this Mandela Effect stuff happened, the zeitgeist of it, I always heard it pronounced Berenstein Bears, not Stain.
Yeah, that's
ever.
how I heard it.
Yeah.
But it could just be misremembering that entirely. I don't know.
No, I remember Berenstein. Never, because I thought Berenstain. That's not right.
My thought is that, how you don't know the lyrics to songs for ever? For example, one of the big ones is,
I really thought he was going to throw me under the bus.
Oh, no, I'm throwing you under the bus for this one because we both don't know how this song goes. It's the one that goes "Play Me the Beat Boys."
Ah,
we thought it was "Play Me the Beach Boys" and "Free My Soul."
I thought it was "Play Me the Beach Boys."
Give me the Beach Boys, free my soul.
Yeah, I thought it was Beach Boys.
Give me the Beach Boys. Yeah, definitely Beach Boys, but it sounds like Beach Boys to me.
I mean, it sounds good.
If we're going to start talking about this, this is great. Misheard lyrics are one of my favorite things. Whenever I was younger, Tub Thumpin's song, I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Yeah.
I was convinced as a child it was I get knocked down by an elephant.
By an elephant?
You're never going to keep me down. And I was like, an elephant would totally keep me down. I don't know what these people are talking about.
I heard one that I knew was wrong, but I couldn't hear it any other way. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's like...
Shake It. It's called Shake It.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like Shake It Like a Polaroid Picture. I heard Shake It Like a Corduroy Teacher. I
He
knew
could
it
have been
was
wearing
wrong. And I was
corduroy.
like, guys, what is
Coulda
this saying? Because I cannot.
Oh,
I
man.
cannot hear it right.
This was in my memories a couple of years, the other day from a couple of years ago, and I was very confused whenever
I don't want to talk about that
whenever
one.
I read it because I always knew what she was doing, but it was Missy Elliott's Work It, where she reverses exactly what she says.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't realize that that's exactly what she was doing, and I was like, she literally says reverse it.
Yeah.
All she did was just say it and then reverse it again. Oh my God, that one blew my mind. Because I was like, how people are losing their minds over her actually after figuring out what she says. And I was like, bro, how? I was like a teenager and I knew that.
I was too busy shaking it like a Polaroid picture or
Like a
corduroy teacher. Yeah. Oh my God.
so-
I was like, this is so wrong.
She wants me to tell this one.
I can't wait.
Look at her. She's like,
It's a good one.
okay, so Dido's song, White Flag, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For years, I heard this lyrics until I finally asked, and Zach and her lost their minds on me. The song says, I won't put my hands up and surrender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's this one.
What I heard for years was, I won't poke my eyes out and surrender.
Which doesn't even make sense.
Well, the corduroy teacher didn't either.
Yeah, but she thought
by
that
an
she
elephant.
legitimately thought this
I
one.
think
She
a lot
didn't
of
know it was
misheard
wrong.
lyrics make sense personally, but it's so funny hearing what people come up with. Oh my gosh.
Did you see her just saying that? She was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But you knew.
I didn't want to talk about it.
That's a great one.
Oh my gosh.
One of my favorites.
Oh man.
Oh, well. I guess we can, but at least mishear. That's not misremembering. That's just
Yes.
mishearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Where a lot of the Mandela effects with like the and
Mhm.
or a.
Yeah.
But like with the interview with a vampire,
Yeah.
or the
Or Smokey the Bear. It could have been Smokey Bear.
that, those could be misheard.
Yeah.
But,
And I think easy to misremember too. Like mishear, misremember. Because, I mean, especially if I mishear lyrics, I still to this day will think I get knocked down by an elephant.
Yeah.
I know that's not
Yeah.
right, but my brain is just like, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just.
Yeah.
So I think things like that are definitely easy.
I get knocked
to-
down by an elephant.
It works.
Never
It fits in
gonna
there
keep you down.
perfectly.
the right number of syllables, man.
It is. By an elephant. Yeah. I just don't even it's you're never going to hear it the same again now. Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
well,
not sorry, everybody, but that's just how the lyrics go now.
Just beware of the
This is
corduroy
my own,
teachers.
I'm making my own Mandela effect. That's the lyrics to the song. But yeah, I think that was kind of good that we went on that tangent because that's a good little whatever the word is.
Lighthearted.
Yeah. Lend some legitimacy to the mishearing and misremembering.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Nope.
Zero
okay,
thoughts
all right.
in our heads.
It's like
I have no
collective
thoughts.
silence. I was worried everybody was going to talk at once.
we just have no thoughts.
Brain
We spin 'em
empty.
all. Our next episode, we will be discussing Ariel's nonfiction pick, which is going to be Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. Then we're going to do Ariel's deep dive choice, which is The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. We will then have a book chat. That'll be on my birthday. Everybody's going to celebrate. You guys are going to celebrate late, but whatever. Then we will bring you another Curiosities episode, and that is going to be about weird places. You know the ones. I forgot what they were called while we were writing this, but...
They're kind of like anomalous or...
Yeah. We're just calling them weird places. They know the ones.
They do.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. But before we go, only the best libraries have librarians who don't tell you to be quiet.
I thought it was I don't shush you.
No, it was always not to be quiet.